So, today is Thursday, April 23rd. I'm going to open this meeting. And today is all about the budget this morning. It's a public hearing so that people can come listen to all our department heads. And with that, we're going to get started. And I think, Doug, you're going to start, as I recall, according to this.
Okay.
Thank everybody who's showing up and or watching online, and we hope we get some good watches after also.
Welcome to the City of Fairfield's public budget presentation. During this event, each department head will have a dedicated 10-minute slot to delve into their operations, discuss expenditures, and field the questions. The primary objective of this event is to enlighten the community about the intricate workings of the City of Fairfield, provide insight in our future direction as a city, and foster transparency. We aim to establish a robust foundation for community engagement, cultivate stronger relationships, and foster trust. While many are aware of what we do and how we do it, our ultimate goal is to communicate effectively why we do it. We are data-oriented and results-driven. The overall operating budget is $31,539,027, with a revenue stream of $31,206,506. The general fund is balanced. However, the overall operating budget has a net loss of $332,521 in the water and sewer due to construction. This is a signal of caution, scrutiny, and financial strategy to stay on course to evaluate services and user fees as we reinvest in our infrastructure. Our general obligation debt current to date is $12,083,892, which we paid that principal payment in June. The sewer and water, our water and sewer debt by the end of 2026 is $52,050,568. We will be taking on step 4 sewer improvements and the electrodialysis reversal, EDR project, water plant, at $4 million. As the city operates as efficiently and effectively as possible, it is important to note that we must continue to work with our community partners to provide the essential services as well as quality of life infrastructure that continues to attract, retain good paying jobs, build affordable housing, and attract young families to grow Fairfield's economic base. Our partnerships, such as the Fairfield Convention and Visitors Bureau, that is subsidized by the hotel motel tax, Grow Fairfield, Evergreen Cemetery, Carnegie, the Art and Convention Center, Fairfield Media Center, the Chamber of Commerce, and many other more partners that provide services from the lens of growth and attraction and perpetual care that helps the good governance of Fairfield to make the city a great place for people to live, work, and play. Throughout the year, these partners that help us will review their fiscal reports independently to share their strategies, but today we review our operations. Over the last year, we have had some challenges. We lost Councilwoman Judy Ham, and we lost our police chief, Dave Thomas. Two very dedicated and beloved public servants, devoted to our community. Through these losses, we continue an uphill battle to achieving progress. We have placed new restrooms at Chautauqua Park, built with a generous gift to offer a place of comfort in one of our largest parks. We continue to make large progress and strides in building the new 20,000 square foot fire station, which we hope to move into by December. This is a generational building, setting the tone for improvements of public service and response. This is the signal to our community that we care, and we must build out and maintain our infrastructure that not only serves Fairfield, but Jefferson County. As the city grows, our agency grows. As expectations grow, our services grow. This takes time, planning, management, and funding. This is our investment. This is our investment that we must make to ensure these needs are achieved. 2 new housing developments have begun, building the critical infrastructure. Homes are being built and housing shortages are being addressed. It is important to understand the spokes of economic development. Good paying jobs, good schools, affordable housing, and things to do. Success is never achieved alone. The city government can only navigate the direction through the will of the community and its partners. We will work hard to improve and maintain the community in which we live and we serve. There are many projects I have not listed, and I will continue to update you as time goes on. Fairfield is a growing community with a lot of potential, ambition, and expectation. It is our goal to grow, renew aging infrastructure, and serve and strategically improve this great city. Thank you. I yield the floor to the airport.
Thank you, Doug, and good morning to everybody. And thanks. I appreciate being here, talk about the airport, talk a little bit about the budget. And when I'm talking about the budget, I'm going to talk a few things about all the improvements we've done over the years. My name's Bob Lyons. I've been the manager for a little over 30 years at the airport. And I want to give credit's due to the mayor, the city council, the airport board, and everybody, department's head, Rebecca, has helped the airport grow like it has, and it's really grown over 30 years, which I'll talk about briefly. My budget is not very big. It's very straightforward. I'll just start out with the expense part of it. The building maintenance is listed, as you can see in there. It just involves exactly what it says. Building maintenance and repair on all the hangars. We have quite a few T hangars at the airport. We have a larger hangar also. And the airport it's an amazing place. I wish more people was able to come out and see what a really awesome airport we have. Next item, ground maintenance repair. Maintenance and repair, and that's what it is. It has to do with runway lights, all the maintenance involved in taking care of the airport. There's too many numerous things to talk about. I just want to be brief, and if anybody has questions, they need to come to the airport and call, and I'll give a tour or whatever it takes to show them exactly what we do at the airport, which is a lot. Equipment repair is again straightforward. All the equipment we have at the airport to take care of it, the snow plows, the mowers, everything it takes to take care of the airport is under that. Electrical and gas, straightforward. Talk a little bit about, I put down a lot of things that we do under the contract services, which is involved in everything we do to take care of the airport. Move a little bit to the revenue side. We're a grant-driven airport. Most our monies for all our capital improvement projects come from the FAA and the state. The state is an 85% pay, and the FAA is 95% right now, and the city is 5%, which is a wonderful thing. The city, the council, and the board has supported me throughout all these years to do everything that I've put forward to them to make the airport grow and become an enhanced airport. We're one of the top airports in the state of Iowa for the population size. We're very fortunate. The city all these years have really stepped up to take care of the airport. And we've done numerous projects over the years that relates to this budget that I have to take care. We've 20 years ago, we put in a new runway, we put in new ramps, we updated the hangars, we put in 2 maintenance buildings, we've upgraded snow plow equipment, and the list goes on and on. Beacon, we've done numerous projects worth millions of dollars at just a fraction for the taxpayers' money. And a lot of people don't realize that the grant money comes out of an aviation fund. So it's aviation driven. When you go on an airline and buy a ticket, you're supporting your local airports. And that's a lot of people don't understand that, but that's where the money comes from. And other revenues, a big revenue for us is a farm lease. So we farm 200 acres of farm ground, and 80 acres we lease out for hay. And the rest of it, about another 80 acres, we mow. So that's a big highlight for us, is the farm lease, the hangar rent, and a few other minor things. So I'm going to open up if you have any questions to. Oh, I did want to add, we just got a new 35-foot flagpole donated to the airport in memory of Tom Thompson. It's a beautiful flag, and it's a wonderful thing. And I left an impact study that I've given out in the past. Every 5 years or so, the DOT puts out an economic impact study for airports, which is very surprising of the impact that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
So did you mention what projects are happening coming up?
No, so the projects that we're doing right now is a FAA 95% grant for the entryway to the airport and the parking lot, which is original to the airport since 1967. This is well needed, and this is the last major project that's going to involve any kind of paving for years to come at the airport.
When do you expect the construction?
So the construction should start hopefully within a month or two.
Okay, great.
We just got the bids in, and they were wonderful bids. It's the city council will find out Monday evening.
Great.
I think if I recall too, there's 5 different levels of airports in the state,
Yes,
correct?
Yes. And
Can you comment on where we line up on that? And
so we're second. We're enhanced. So first is commercial, like Cedar Rapids, Des Moines. Second is enhanced, and it's in that book right there. Mm-hmm. And the enhanced is there's like, I forget how many airports in the enhanced.
16, I think.
Yeah, 16. And we're in that list. And there's many different variables that make you an enhanced airport. We're second behind the commercial. And we're like Marshalltown, Newton, Carroll, Ames, Davenport. The size of the runway and the larger jets that come into the airport is the justification of that enhanced service, and that puts us at a better level to get grant money also. And then it steps down from there: general aviation, and then basic service. So we've been put up there because of all the things that have been done at the airport, especially the runway that was done 22 years ago, and the mayor was there for the ribbon cutting on that, which seems like yesterday, but it was a while back.
Right.
If that's it, I left that for everybody to look at later, and it's really interesting to see the impact that the airport brings. People don't realize it, but just example, Cambridge is a top one, but there's many other users. I won't get into that now. But you just got to think about, they use the airport and the impact it has on the community in Fairfield. Thank you.
So, Bob, you said
Yeah.
Cambridge is a top user?
Right now, yes.
Who are other top users? I'm curious.
So we got the Raj. Like right now, there's a really large Challenger 350 sitting on a ramp that a lady from Seattle flies in about 4 to 5 times a year to go to the Raj. And then it just goes from there. Agri-Plastics, a company that came in yesterday also, that's here for John Deere. just new. It's too many companies. It's amazing the small planes that come in, even for just to go to John Deere. So we have planes that come in 2-3 times a month to go get a part or go look at a tractor, things like that, or go to Keosauqua. We have a lot of jets that come in for hunting. Hunting's a big deal in Jefferson County and Van Buren County. So we just had a jet a week ago come in for turkey hunting. They come in every year. So it's just things like that that people don't realize, that or they come and stay to go to the Civic Center. Just a lot. A lot of companies use the airport, even if it's just a small GA airplane.
A GA airplane is what now?
Yeah, general aviation airplanes. Yeah, just a small plane they use for business. That happens on a regular basis. Almost every day, weather permitting, we see an airplane coming in to go in town to do business in Fairfield. And not always do we know exactly what company they're going to, but usually we get to talk to the pilots and get a good idea why they're coming, etc. And I'd be glad to sit down with you. If you stop at the airport, we can go over that more.
Thank you.
That'd be all.
Great.
Thank
Thanks,
you
Bob.
again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up is our fire chief, Fred Farrell.
Well, thanks for having me. Council, Mayor, if you don't know me, my name's Brett Farrell. I'm the fire chief of the city of Fairfield. I took over the role as fire chief in 2023. I've been on the fire department since 2000, so going on 26 years now. When I started as a firefighter, we've seen a lot of growth. We've seen a lot of different changes in our fire department. The one thing that you don't see is we don't have a lot of turnover. So once we get people there, they get a lot more experience and they don't normally leave. Last year we went through a couple that had to get off. But I started off, I was a training officer and then started into writing the grants for the fire department. And then March of 22, I became assistant chief, and again in April 23, I became the chief. So I think it's important to understand how the structure works for our fire department, to understand the costs that go into it when you're talking about budget numbers. Fire departments obviously aren't cheap to maintain or run. Fire trucks cost money. All the equipment costs a lot of money, but also the roster and the personnel costs of a fire department for a city the size of Fairfield is important to understand what we do. So we currently have a roster of 21. Out of those 21, we have 3 full-time engineer drivers, which means the station's manned 24/7. They work on rotating shifts. Besides the 3 drivers, we have myself, the chief, assistant chief, 2 captains, and a lieutenant, and then 16 firefighters. Our full-time drivers not only run fire calls, but they respond to medical calls, as some of our trained EMT part-time personnel do also. Our full-time drivers are also tasked with the rental inspections in the city of Fairfield and also liquor license inspections. So they're always, besides maintaining the station and trucks, they're out a lot during the day doing inspections. We protect not only the city of Fairfield, but also mutual aid in the county. We have 130 square miles in our fire district, and the county's 437 square miles, and we mutual aid throughout the county. So as a city department, we run a lot of rural calls, even outside of our own fire district when people call us. In 2025, we had a combined 1,348 documented calls for the year, and that includes medical and fire. So our part-time, our volunteers, all the part-time are paid a stipend every quarter to make up for some of the lost time from their workplace wages when they're leaving. And a city our size that's running that many calls, they do leave a lot. So that's the reason. But they have to maintain, unlike some volunteer departments around, we have to maintain a 70% attendance record for those part-time people. Not only do we do fire stuff, but we also, what a lot of people don't realize, it takes time and money. We also do a lot of volunteerism. The fire department is usually the first one to be called to do something on the square, have a truck there. We do Adopt a Firefighter, Second Graders, Breakfast with Heroes, Jefferson County Fair, Veteran Day Flag, Kiwanis Day Parade, and the tent setup, homecoming activities, National Guard Fitness Day, Little League, Hy-Vee block parties, babysitting classes, and then we go to schools to talk to them. So there's a lot of volunteerism in there. So there's some of the stuff that we have to do, our training, our firefighters are all certified Firefighter 1, which is a national certification, and the majority of them are Firefighter 2 certified, which is a step up. We're also hazmat, hazardous material operations level, confined space rescue, grain bin rescue, ice and water rescue, high angle rope rescue, and vehicle extrication. And I'm assuming I probably missed a few of those, but trying to state that a lot of that stuff that we are trained in to make the public safer and to make your ISO rating, your insurance, fire insurance low, is because of what we do to get there. The equipment that we have, and those are the big costs besides the personnel. We have Aerial 14, which is our ladder truck. Just to give you an idea, when you start looking at some of the fire, last year, that truck is 20 years old. The master cylinders went out on the ladder, the seals did. We spent about $16,000 for repairs on that truck alone. And then this year, I think we're up to 12 or 13,000 on that truck. So it's getting age on it, and we're starting to see more repairs on that. Besides our aerial, we have our engine 18 pumper county truck, our engine 15, which is our city truck. We have a 3,000 gallon tanker, which we upgraded back in 2015 to double our water supply to the rural areas. Brush truck 13, medical rescue 17, fire unit 1, a rescue boat, and a wildland response gator and trailer. All those have to be housed somewhere, which we'll probably talk a little bit about the new fire station. Currently, they're not all under one roof. The fire department budget is one of the departments that is funded by the general fund. So, you know, the revenue comes from, you know, we do fire protection, township taxes, and, you know, there are some bills out there, but it is funded by the general fund. Besides our salaries, a lot of our operating budget is obviously for truck, station, equipment maintenance, and station operating. All firefighters have to be outfitted with NFPA approved gear, and I think the last year we spent about $19,000 outfitting 3 individuals. So it tells you the cost of what it just takes to have you in fire gear to be able to perform your job. About $6,300 by the time you get the coat, helmet, gloves, and bunker pants and everything. I guess without going into detail on the budget, you can look at it. Again, most of our costs, I think 83% is towards personnel costs. And then the rest is truck maintenance. We have vehicle operations, building maintenance, repair, and then all of your utilities. But the vehicle repairs is usually a pretty big line item. And then office supplies, operational supplies, just little things. We have medical supplies for our first responders, EMS people. But the majority of the budget is for vehicles, operation costs, and personnel. So we are excited for the progress of the new fire station. I know it's a big talk. I took a tour of the other day. It's exciting once you're in there to see the room that we're going to have. It will allow us to work more efficiently. It'll allow us to work safer, to get out of some of that environment that can cause health issues for firefighters. And as many calls as we're running, we think that's, you know, down the road, way past my time here, that our younger firefighters will be healthier and the fire department overall be more efficient. Meaning that with the station that we have now, I was just down in Mount Pleasant for pancake breakfast a couple weeks ago, and although their building doesn't look big from the outside, it's got 4 times as much Bay Area as our current fire station now. So we're excited for the opportunity for the new fire station. Our guys are they're itching to go. They keep asking about it all the time. The builders are still saying November, December timeframe moving in, which will be a huge task for us, because if not, we'll have to move quickly to get everything to function out of the new station. Although that station will be complete and fully operational, there will also be some furnishings and stuff down the road that we'll need to get, and you know, the public can help with that. A couple years ago, we started, like every other fire department in the world, or in Iowa we have now have a nonprofit volunteer side that is able to take donations to be able to furnish some of that, such as appliances and things like that that may not be furnished up front that we're moving from the old station just because budgets are tight. So that's kind of my overall. I think it's important for everybody to understand the structure of a fire department and the costs that are involved and why there's those costs to run a station, to have the type of fire department that you have. Like I said, our ISO rating's low. We just went through an ISO audit last week where they come in and look at everything. The ladder truck's huge for a city our size to maintain, and it's critical to maintain your insurance ratings to be at an ISO 4. So when we talk about new fire trucks in the future, which we've had those conversations, that's the reason that, the new fire truck, we bought our aerial in 2006, so it'll be 20 years old, for just under $600,000. A new ladder truck, pretty much the same thing. A little taller ladder is about $2 million right now. So when you talk cost moving forward and budget numbers, that's not a want, or it's a need for the city to maintain certain classifications.
And how long ahead of time do you have to order that vehicle?
By the time you spec it, you have to get quotes. Obviously, there's only about 3 companies that make a ladder truck the way we want it, like a mid-mount with a 100-foot ladder. Spec it, decide on who you're going with. It's probably a 2-year process before you get it, maybe 3 years. Mm-hmm. So we're starting to do that. We're starting to have those talks now, and I've talked to some companies, and we're getting more information on that.
When do you anticipate we're actually going to need it?
Our aerial truck, we just keep putting a little bit of money into it every year. Uh-huh. The older they get, they have problems with seals, motors, drive lines, little things that go wrong after 20 years. But I don't have this. It's just we have to have those discussions further.
So Brett, what does ISO stand for? So
it's just an insurance rating for. So what they do is they come in and they look at each community. So they'll look at Libertyville. They were down in Jefferson County, so they're doing all the smaller towns. But basically, it tells you how well you're fire protected. So when your homeowner's insurance goes out, in quotes, they can look at that rating. It's just a basic insurance rating on how well your fire department's prepared. Like Steve, we did fire hydrant pressure testing when was it, Monday? And they want to check the pressures and how much it falls off if you open up another hydrant and things like that. They also look at how many calls we run, what our response times are, how much water do we have to run to rural areas and things like that. And then they take a score, or they took all the information, they give you a score. So the higher the number, the worse you are. And it takes an incredible amount to get to a 1. I think Ottumwa's, which is actually a full-time unionized fire department, is at a 3 or a 4 right now.
And we're at
4.
We're at 4.
That's good. Can you explain more what mutual aid mean, how it works here?
Yeah, sure. So mutual aid is an agreement between fire departments. Right now we currently have what we call, some people call in the bigger cities a box alarm. Some people have the Mavis system, which ours is auto-aided, which means if there's a structure fire, certain criteria, structure fires, confirmed entrapment for extrication, they will, if it's in, say, Packwoods Fire District, because we all have our boundaries. And for the closest fire department to that incident, we will get auto-aided immediately to that incident, and vice versa. Mutual aid is if Lockridge has and we're not the closest department, but if they have a structure fire, grass fire, anything that's going on over there, and I can name any city around us, but they will call us for mutual aid to bring our equipment and our personnel over. And those contracts, they are in writing agreements. You have mutual aid contracts. And we go as far as we help. Brighton's in our district too. They serve, not our district, but they serve a huge part of Jefferson County. We also go outside of the county, like Stockport's and Birmingham. They'll call us to come help them, or vice versa. Especially in grass fire season, we see a lot of mutual aid because we have to have the water. So we have a 30,000-gallon tanker, and we get more tankers coming right away just to have that water on hand. That's the only way in rural areas is that the water capacity is the most important thing. So you call as many mutual aid departments to get their tankers and personnel rolling. That's kind of mutual aid.
Brett, last question, because our time's up.
Yeah, I know.
What's the official name of the foundation?
It's called Fairfield Volunteer Fire Department. And and our goal with that was not for two things. We wanted to be able to raise money for equipment that would not have to be bought by the city budget. People could donate, but also it gives us the opportunity to, our current station doesn't bode real well to have public in and do open houses and things like that. And the new fire station will allow us to do that, to bring the public in and see our station, see what the guys do, talk to the guys, and then maybe have some fundraiser events going on in that new station. So that allows us to take that money and, things I didn't mention, and I'll brief, our TIC cameras, our thermal imaging cameras, things that are required for us, not required, but essential for us to do our job when we go into a burning building. The thermal imaging, those are expensive, and if something happens to one, it's $1,000 here. We can buy some of the clothing for the guys through the volunteerism thing. Furnishings and things like that. So it's a win-win to have that volunteer side of it, because it is nonprofit and it saves the city money down the road in their budget if we have some money there to do some stuff.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you very much, Brett. Next up is dispatch. Shannon? Here's one of the gals behind the scenes that you never see, but very important.
Yeah. All right. So hello. We would all like to thank you all for taking this time out this morning to join us and listen to either a department head or a representative from their department to present budgets and discuss a little bit about what's going on in the last year within each department or the goals that we've set for the upcoming year. I'm Shannon Pester. I'm the communication supervisor for the Jefferson County Communication Center. Today I have with me my assistant, Tara McFarland, and who's supporting me today. Together we have a combined experience of 22 years in dispatching. Our Jefferson County Communication Center budget supports 7 full-time employees and one part-time employee. We are currently staffed at 6 full-time employees and 1 part-time. We just recently opened up our vacant position to hire a 7th dispatcher. Each year, we think of ways to improve the Jefferson County Communication Center to make our jobs easier and workspace more comfortable, efficient, and better equipped to serve both the public and our first responders. I don't know how many of you have been in there, but it is kind of a crazy place to work. Over the past year, we have focused on maintaining reliable operations while adapting to increasing call volumes and the evolving needs of our community. In the last year, our team has continued to demonstrate resilience and professionalism. Despite operating below staffing for a period of time, our communication specialists remained committed to providing timely and accurate communication services for law enforcement, fire, and emergency medical services. This included handling emergency and non-emergency calls, coordinating responses, ensuring officer and public safety at all times. As you can tell, we take not only 911 calls, but we take admin calls. You see that we take it walk-in traffic. We handle everything. One of the key challenges we face with staffing shortages, which is an issue being experienced by a communication center across the country. So it's not just us. Everywhere I've reached out to agencies and neighboring counties, it's not just us that have staffing shortages. It is a very tough job to do. The turnover rate has went from when I started, even when Assistant Communication Supervisor McFarland started, it's went from 1.5 years down to 6 months. So it is a very turnover job. It's not something that anybody can do. Even with these challenges, our team worked overtime when necessary and supported one another to ensure that coverage remained consistent 24/7. Obviously, it does have to be manned 24/7. In terms of improvements, we have continued to evaluate our technology and procedures. Over the past year, we have worked on updating internal protocols, improving hiring processes for new applicants, and identifying areas where upgraded equipment or software could enhance efficiency, such as the new 49-inch curve monitors we had installed. We do thank the help of EMA Farrell for those purchases. So our budget, as I said, consists of the salaries. So our equipment either comes out of 911, our training comes out of the police budget. So we do appreciate the help we get from other agencies to provide for our department. This cuts down on the number of monitors the communications specialists have to look at each day from 8 to 12 hours at a time. We have also emphasized ongoing training for current staff to keep up with best practices and new developments in emergency communications. Looking ahead to the upcoming year, one of our primary goals is to return to full staffing. Hiring and training a new full-time communication specialist is top priority, as it will help reduce overtime demands. Along with staffing, we plan to continue investing in training to ensure all employees are confident and prepared to handle the wide variety of situations they encounter daily. One of my big goals is to offer for those who want the training through APCO is to take fundamentals of tactical dispatch. This would allow communication specialists to work as a part of an agency tactical dispatch team that would respond to incidents requiring coordination of multiple agencies or jurisdictions. So that would allow us not only to help in the communication center, but allow us to help out on scene if any agent or agencies would need it. We could be, mobile scribes in that sense. We could take computers with us, use mapping, different things like that. We could be like, we could be go mobile essentially. For me, it doesn't help me to be in the center when there's already 2 dispatchers in the center. I can go out, or I can take one of them with me, and we can go out on scene and help. So the hindrance at the time was FEMA was down, so we couldn't finish our prerequisites. Now, at the end of last week, FEMA opened back up, so we can do our classes now. Another goal is to explore opportunities for technology upgrades. As communication systems continue to evolve, it is important that we stay current in order to provide the most efficient and reliable service possible. This may include software enhancement, equipment updates, or improvements to our dispatch consoles. We are also focused on strengthening collaboration with our partner agencies. Open communication and strong working relationships with law enforcement, fire departments, and EMS providers are essential to our success. By continuing to work closely together, we can improve response coordination and overall service to the community. In closing, we are proud of the work our team has accomplished over the past year. The Jefferson County Communications Center plays a critical role in public safety, and our staff takes their responsibility seriously every single day. Sorry, this makes me emotional. We appreciate your continued support as we work towards our goals. So, I do pride our girls. Gosh dang it. Because I have agencies that reach out to us wanting to know how we keep our staff. Because we do have a retention rate so high. We have a great team. So, it's been a long week. And we have a good team. So,
what is your retention rate compared to, you say the average is 6 months, is that right?
Yes. So I've been here for 12 years. Tara has been here, and Teresa, they've been here, I've been here for 12. Tara and Teresa have been here for 10.
Shanna, can you get a little bit closer to the mic?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So I've been here for 12. They've been here for 10. There's 2 under, let's see, Kate's been here for 9, and then the 2 under them, 3 and 2. And that around here is not common. So I have agencies reaching out to me like, what is your training? What is your process for hiring? And our process for hiring is not like, oh yeah, you filled out an application. Like it's lengthy, and people think, I don't know if you guys have watched 911. They think it's just answering the phone, you got one console, that's it. It's not that. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. So when we look at our applications, we're looking at different things. Like, we're running them through a first background check, we have a standardized test that we send them through that is a 2-hour test that gives you multitasking. You're listening, you're reading, you're picking up different things, and they have to have an 80% to pass to move on to an interview phase. It is a 4-page interview with a panel of myself, Assistant Communication Supervisor McFarland. There's sometimes the chief of police on it and the sergeant or a couple others from dispatch on it. And then we sit down and convene. And then we do, if they pass that, we do background checks. So it's, people think it's, okay, I've passed the interview, I'm in. No, like it's a lengthy thing. So it could take over a month before we even decide if you're qualified for it. So yeah, but I do pride it. Sorry, I didn't mean to get emotional, but I do pride our dispatch center.
So would you say that the difference is primarily how we approach it to begin with? Or is there things that we do to help make the job more effective or more comfortable, if you will?
I think it is the way we approach it. And
Shannon.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I think it is the way we approach it. We have, like, when I first started, it was a small system. Like, it wasn't a very good system. Maybe beginning at hiring, yeah, but it was an effective system. I mean, coming into when I first started out as a supervisor, so I came into the role of a supervisor after being a dispatcher for 1.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got thrown in the position.
Okay.
It wasn't, we were going through people, turnover,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to figure out something different. And so we came across this system because it's what the officers use.
The office, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's what they use. So, and then we came across this, and we've had the last person we got with it, she's been with us for 2 years.
That's great.
So, yeah.
Really.
So
Yeah.
we
Point
really,
of pride.
really, really appreciate your hard work and your
Yeah.
staff. We know it's a difficult job, and thank you. Take our thanks back to everybody, and that's all I'm going to say, or I'll get emotional. So
Yeah, sorry.
yeah,
But
yeah. So thank you so
Yeah.
much. Let's move on to the library. Alex. Hey, Alex, can you move the podium just a hair? So you're talking
turn
there,
it.
but you can turn it just
Turn
a
it
little
more
bit
towards
too.
the middle.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. And maybe that'll help.
Can you hear me all right? Good morning, Mayor, City Council, and members of the community. My name is Alex Schmidt-McCunis, and I serve as Director of the Fairfield Public Library. Thank you for the opportunity to share a brief overview of our budget and work. We operate with a budget that hovers around $500,000 a year. For fiscal year 27, the approved budget is $505,933.39. City funding supports staffing and building operations, while our collections are largely funded through the Library Foundation, endowment income, and community gifts. This model allows us to extend the impact of public dollars while maintaining strong service levels. I want to begin with a simple point. The Fairfield Public Library is a high-return public investment. Over the past year, our services generated an estimated $7.3 million in value to residents through materials, programs, technology access, and community space at a fraction of that cost. In terms of outcomes, we continue to see strong growth. Annual visits reached over 91,000, an increase of roughly 10,900 visits from the previous year. We hosted 793 in-person programs with more than 11,500 attendees. Overall circulation increased by 5%, with youth services circulation rising by 56%. Interlibrary loan activity also grew, expanding access beyond our local collection. These numbers reflect something deeper. The library is not just being used, it is being relied upon. In addition to that growth, we successfully transitioned to the Koha library management system, saving the city approximately $15,000 a year annually. Implementation remains ongoing, especially without dedicated IT staff, but we are making steady progress improving the system for our users. We completed a major collection review, removing thousands of outdated or damaged items while maintaining a collection of over 80,000 items. This improves usability and may reduce long-term insurance costs. We expanded our partnership with Iowa State University's Extension and Outreach, offering programs like Walk with Ease and Words on Wellness, both focused on improving community health. We also made key facility and infrastructure improvements, including replacing meeting room carpet and installing a new ultra-bright projector, beginning replacement of all public and staff computers, and planning for gutter replacement following winter storm damage. Looking ahead, we will continue to build on this momentum. We will improve the usability of our online catalog, identify an architecture firm to design an updated youth services space, begin expanded fundraising and grant efforts for our building renewal project, maintain strong programming and continue expanding partnerships, and build a stronger volunteer base to support long-term growth. As our building approaches its 30th anniversary, we are actively advancing a library renewal project to address deferred maintenance and modernize key spaces, planned carefully to align with both community needs and fiscal responsibility. What I'm most proud of is our staff. They have shown a strong willingness to adapt as we continue to evolve, whether that's navigating a system-wide technology transition, supporting new programs, or serving patrons day to day. They bring unique and highly valuable skills to their work, and that commitment is what makes the library such a trusted and reliable resource in this community. Before I close, I want to express my gratitude to the Fairfield Board of Trustees. Our library and our community are significantly stronger due to their commitment to the library's mission. In closing, the Fairfield Public Library remains committed to responsible stewardship, strong service, and meaningful community impact. Thank you for your continued support.
The mayor read a proclamation you wrote, or I think you had a hand in writing Fairfield Library Week proclamation at our last council meeting. That was inspiring, so I really appreciate that. Yeah.
It is National Library Week through the 25th.
It is a hub of activity for our community, there's no question.
And I want to acknowledge you for writing a very good section for our Intelligent Community Forum narrative. It is one of the strong points of that.
Thank you. I'll get you that update very soon.
Very good. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate it,
everyone.
Alex.
Thank you.
Next up is our police. No, Parks and Rec, sorry. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I made a check mark where there wasn't supposed to be one. I got ahead of myself. Calvin.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you, Council, Mayor, City Administrator Doug. Make sure I got that right this time. Last time I referred to Mel as the city admin, so I caught a year's worth of flack for that. So, my name is Calvin Todd. I am the Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Fairfield, Iowa. I kind of have to pinch myself a little bit because this summer will be 10 years for me. So, since I've been here. So, be 10 years, and I can honestly say that when I had taken the position, it was probably going to be one of those things that was a resume builder type deal for me. And then I met my wife, and 4 kids later, I think as long as council and the mayor and Doug are happy with me here, Fairfield, you're probably stuck with me for a long time. So, good thing or bad, but that's just the way it's going to be. So, but to be honest with you, I couldn't imagine working anywhere else. I love the people that I work with. I get to do different stuff every day, even though lately it seems like it's been a lot of lifeguarding every day. But the other department heads are great. We've got a strong community of volunteers and people that are very active, that are always wanting to help out. So I really, really do enjoy working here and being a part of the Fairfield community. So I'm going to stop rambling now. I am the Director of Parks and Recreation. We maintain or oversee 11 parks. We also oversee and maintain the northern portions of the Fairfield Loop Trail. We've got one beach. We have two pools, one outdoor, one indoor. Indoor one open year-round. We maintain the Roosevelt Building as well as the Cambridge Sportsplex. So with all of that, we do that with 5 full-time employees, 3 in maintenance and 2 in administration. And then we also have anywhere, depending on kind of like 20 to 40 seasonal / part-time employees, which includes lifeguards, building supervisors, concession stand attendants, and then in the summertime, seasonal maintenance as well too. So my budget is broke down into 4 different sections. So when budget time rolls around, I get 4 sheets that I get to look through and go through. So which is our first one I'll talk about is recreation. So we have a rec budget, and that basically is the Cambridge Sportsplex and the Roosevelt Building. So the Roosevelt Building, which we're all aware of, is I think 101 years old at this time, which is the big, tall, 3-story brick building that is attached to the Cambridge Sportsplex, or the Cambridge Sportsplex is attached to it. So we have our weight room in there in that first floor, and then we've got on the second floor, we use that for a birthday party rental room, classes, and we've got some other rec rooms up there as well too. So then the Cambridge Sportsplex, that is our amazing, beautiful facility with the 200-meter track, the 3 full-size basketball courts, the 6 pickleball courts, the weight equipment, the racquetball courts, all the above. So I'm sure most of you have been there and seen it. So a lot of our budget that you'll see on there is maintaining it. It is maintaining that building. It is purchasing supplies. It is professional services, whether it be HVAC unit, first aid kits, where we get our supplies from for gym wipes, paper towels, toilet paper, soap dispensers, disinfectant, all that. So with including salaries for our recreation budget, we have a $512,311,000 budget for recreation, and we'll see a lot of the stuff that we do with the Parks and Recreation budget is we utilize lost funds a good amount to kind of upgrade our equipment, our facilities. So we've got $18,000 that we'll use out of lost funds this year, and that goes towards gym equipment. And that has been something that we have done over the last, I think, 8-9 years. We've obviously, it's usually cardio equipment that goes, so we're usually replacing those every 2 to 3 years, having to get new pieces in for that. So, and then we also use it to add new equipment to the facility as well too. So our next line item that I want to talk about is our parks one. We've got, I talked a little bit about what our parks maintains. Pam, Brad, Dylan, they are our full-time employees. They do an excellent job of maintaining our facilities. And sometimes I think I can be even blame myself that I put sometimes a little too much on their plate to handle. But they do a great job with it, and for as small of a staff as what we've got. So with our parks, we're at $297,680. And a lot of that too is just maintenance of shelters, playground equipment, our actual own equipment. You'll see one line item on there. I believe it's got a 20% increase. We added an extra $6,000 into that, and that is to go towards our dump truck. We've got some maintenance issues on that, and that we need to get squared away for this coming season. And then we're going to utilize lost funds as well too for that. So we're going to get some new teeth on our stump grinder, a couple new sets for that, and then we're also going to get a flail mower, which will attach to the back of our tractor that we'll be able to cut more area, cut some ditches and stuff like that too. So our outdoor pool, which we are currently in the stages of getting that ready, and I want to thank the other departments for helping us out with that every year. the wastewater department and Sean, they usually help us get things going out there and getting, it seems like we might have some issues with some pumps, and Sean and his crew does a great job helping us. But then I also want to give a shout out to Steve Redinger and his department. They came and they ran a new water line for our concession stand because we had one that was broke. So they ran a new water line for us, which was great. So I really, really thank them for doing that, because that saves our budget a lot when our departments can work together. But one thing that you'll see with our outdoor pool is last budget we had a pretty big project where we did all the recaulking in the seams and joints around the pool and the inside of the pool. This is just to kind of prolong the life of it and stay ahead of the game. So this year we don't have a big project that we're doing out there, but we are budgeted, and it's not out of our budget, but it's lost funds to start replacing some of the umbrellas that are out there. So we're going to get some new umbrellas that are out there, which is just, it's time. That it's an 11-year, I think going on 11 seasons now. So with that outdoor pool, 10 or 11 seasons. So it's time to start replacing some of that stuff. And then our indoor pool, we've got $123,325, and that is also salaries, maintenance of the building. We operate off of boilers over there, so I've got 4 boilers that we maintain and operate off of there. We don't ever really have too many issues with that, but it's just, routine maintenance on that and our HVAC equipment for the facility. We do have a project that we do have coming up here with the indoor pool that we're budgeted for, and it's also out of Lost, but our sand filtration system. So our indoor pool is 289,000 gallons that is in the indoor pool. And it is time for us to replace the media that's in the sand filter and the laterals. So, and then we've got some valves that when we're backwashing or running are in circulation that we need to get fixed in there as well too. So that's going to be about a $32,000 project. That's going to be for our indoor pool. Every year we do a routine shutdown of about 2 weeks, to where we drain the water. Now, it's not mandatory. It's not like the state of Iowa says, hey, you've got to drain your water every year. Me personally, I just think it's something good to do. So we drain it. It's another thing where the other departments help us out with that. And we drain it. We'll fix some tiles. We'll do whatever other maintenance needs to be done. And it usually is about a 2-week process. So one of the other projects that we completed this last fiscal year, the fiscal year we're in now, is we redid the flooring in the men's and women's locker room. So it's an epoxy floor that's just like the pool deck now. So everything kind of flows nicely together. It's easy for us to maintain and to clean compared to what we had on there previously. So the other thing that we do have coming this year, which I know our locker rooms have sometimes be a hot topic of conversation from time to time, but over the years we've continued to improve them. One thing we started off with was countertops, moved to lighting, new doors, and now we've got the flooring that's in there as well too. So this coming year, when we are in our 2-week shutdown period, what we'll do is we'll come in and we're going to figure out a way to get kind of the, 30 plus years of paint off the shower walls there and to repaint the walls. So that facility was, I believe, opened in 91 or 92. So I have no idea how many coats of paint are actually on that. So
let's have a contest.
Yeah, so it'll be a fun little project that we get to do this
Room
fall.
room will get a lot bigger.
What's that?
The room will get a lot bigger
Get a lot bigger?
if the walls aren't this thick anymore.
Yeah, your shower stalls, you'll be able to just walk pretty comfortably into them now. So, but yeah, that's so altogether we're a little over $1 million. I know Doug talked at the beginning. We got a $31 million budget here with the city. Our portion is about $1,088,000. So that's that's where we're at with that. So I will now open it up to any questions that council may have, or
We got like 15 seconds.
I-
How old is the Sportsplex?
Sportsplex. So I think it's 11 years old. I think it was in operation for maybe less than a year before I took over as director. So I think it might just be coming up on 11 years old now. So, and one thing I can say too is, so when I was hired to be the director here, where my previous employment, I was an assistant Parks and Recreation director. We didn't have any indoor facilities. I was in West Virginia and everything was outside. Parks were outside, everything we did was outside. So I had the opportunity now to do something different, and I can say that over the last 10 years, the growth of the Sportsplex has changed so much, in a sense that, like, we host anywhere from volleyball tournaments to pickleball tournaments to, we had after prom this year. We've done teen nights. We do the Southeast Iowa Special Olympics basketball program, volleyball leagues. We laugh a little bit. The month of January, February, and the first 2 weekends in March, every single weekend there was an event that was scheduled at the Sportsplex. And these events were big events that were bringing in probably over 1,000 people to city limits a week, or on that weekend. So
I don't have a question, but I do have one quick comment. I've sat on Ways and Means for what seems like a very long time now. But I'd like to point out that it's increasingly harder to put together a balanced budget. The staff does a phenomenal job getting a lot of stuff ready, but you guys do too. And looking through this, you have 4 departments. Your parks budget was down 28,000 over last year, 8.5%. Your rec budget was down 96,000 or 17.6%. Your outdoor pool budget was down 20,000 or 11.5%. And your indoor pool budget was basically flat. It was up $500, 129,000 to 129,500. So it's noticed and thanked very much for doing what you guys do.
yeah, no,
It makes it so much easier on our end. So.
Yep, and I think you're going to see that. I take the mindset, or have the mindset of, like, obviously Rome was not built in a day. So I have a laundry list of 1 million different projects that I could probably use all of the $31 million to complete. But we know that over time, I'm a checklist guy. What did we get done? Okay, that's done. That's out of the way. We're on to the next. What did we get done? That's done. That's out of the way. We're on to the next. For us right now, the big thing is bathroom facilities in the parks, waterworks, and the public one. So those are 2 projects right there that are pretty high on the list of, like, how do we get these completed within the next 5 to 10 years?
But if somebody really, really wants something done, we have a foundation.
And yes, we do have a Parks and Recreation Foundation. So if anybody has some extra money laying around, Million is MILL. And you can just write that check out to the Parks and Recreation Foundation, and we'll get some of these things done.
I was going to mention that because in this last year, we actually have a new park shelter. And at Obie Nelson, and that was by a local donor. So projects can get done, things that you want to see as an individual, come and talk to Calvin.
Bathrooms at Chautauqua.
The bathrooms at Chautauqua were done by an estate, yes. So those are really important donations, and greatly appreciated, and it's such a dedication to our community. And thanks to all the members who go there, because it's important that they're part of the revenue stream. So we need good memberships too. So thank you to the community for that. All right.
Thank you.
Let's move on to our police department.
Good morning. My name's Joel Smith. I'm the interim police chief. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of our budget operations and a few goals moving forward. Our department operates an annual budget of approximately $1.8 million, which supports our personnel, daily operations, and the services we provide the community. The budget remains largely the same as the previous year. The most notable increase is in the full-time salary line, which reflects budgeting for 3 sergeant's positions for anticipated promotions. It also reflects budgeting for 2 non-sworn positions this year, which includes an administrative assistant and a community service officer. These roles are intended to improve efficiency within the department and allow our sworn officers to spend more time focusing on public safety. From an operations standpoint, our department continues to respond to a steady volume of calls for service each year. This reflects the consistent demand for police services in our community. Like many departments across the state and the country, we continue to face staffing challenges. When I gave this speech last year, we had 2 of our officers deployed overseas in the military. I'm happy to share that one of those officers has just returned to the state. He's expected to be back working with us before June. We're still awaiting the return of our second officer, who's still deployed overseas. Despite these challenges, we've remained committed to maintaining service levels and supporting the community. Over the last year, our department has accomplished several important things. A few weeks ago, we completed a law enforcement specific grant writing course, which will help us pursue additional funding opportunities in the future. This will help us aid in bridging the gap between funding from the city and the future needs of our department. In addition, over the past few weeks, we've created and began implementing a year-long recruitment and retention action plan. This has included conducting stay interviews with our current staff, reviewing internal practices to identify and address retention challenges within our department. To say that this year has tested our department's resolve would be a huge understatement. We navigated the loss of our police chief, and during that time, our team came together to support one another and ensure that our services were uninterrupted to the community. Looking ahead, our focus is on strengthening and supporting our workforce. We'll continue implementing our recruitment and retention action plan to attract more local applicants, including utilizing our local and regional partners to help drive interest in our department. We're also working to fill a newly funded administrative assistant and community service officer positions. In addition, we'll be working to continue to develop our officers through expanded training opportunities, both in law enforcement and leadership, as we work to shape the next generation of leaders within our department. I'd just like to take a moment and recognize our staff. Their dedication and professionalism through an extremely challenging year is something we're very proud of. Any questions?
Joel, how long have you had your retention and recruitment action plan in place?
So we just finished developing that about 3 weeks ago, and we've already began implementing that as well. So it's about a 12-month program. So it's going to go throughout the year, and then we're going to reevaluate at the end of that and see what changes we need to make.
Have you been in touch with other departments locally or within the state who've implemented such plans, and have any idea what kind of success or results you can expect from it?
I haven't spoken to other departments about it, about the plan in general. There's parts of the plan that I've put out on a forum called the Iowa Police Chiefs Association, where you can reach directly out to chiefs and lieutenants in other departments and get ideas from them, what's working in the department and what's not. So the plan as a whole, no, but I have asked for guidance on portions of that plan.
Can you tell us a little bit about the grant program? What is that likely to be able to do for us?
Well, there's a wide range of grant opportunities that are out there. In the past, our department really hasn't had much to do with grants. I think mainly because A, it's time consuming, and B, there's so much that goes into it. That's why I wanted to get us to the actual class this year so that we could learn more about it. Mm-hmm. But there's a wide range of opportunities we could use it for. Equipment, there's federal, state level grants, there's foundation grants, which is what I'm working on now, is a grant that we're going to try and get our cars equipped with AEDs in every single vehicle. We used to have that. I believe they were donated years ago. Those units are all obsolete. Many of them don't work. I think we've only got 1 or 2 that are in operation right now. So just funding for equipment and things like that. There's also, you can do grants for personnel as well. COPS grant where you can hire police officers. It's on a percentage basis where it's paid for 100% the first year by the grant, and then it slowly is absorbed by the city to kind of bring in some additional personnel, but give the city time to make a budget plan for that, of what that's going to look like in the future. So there's a wide range of things we could use it for.
Are there any resources that the city could provide to help with that? Anything that we can do to assist that?
In the future, absolutely. You know, we've talked before that we're staffed for 14 people right now, and that's including the chief's position. Most towns our size are staffed a little bit higher than ours, and we're kind of in the world where a lot of departments are not fully staffed. If we're at 14 and we lose 1 or 2 people, that puts a lot of pressure on our patrol division. Each officer is going to be responding to more calls for service, less time they can spend on investigations and things like that. If we can push that to 15, 16, and we're 1 or 2 people short, we can work there. We can absorb that and still have a 3-man squad to go out and handle calls and investigations.
Well, I hope that you take advantage of whatever assistance we can provide.
Absolutely.
Joel, you want to talk about what it really takes to get a new police car and how much it costs to outfit it?
Yeah,
what the process is?
Yeah, so acquiring a car can be a little bit challenging in and of itself. You've got to plan ahead for it. We run Chevy Tahoes, which goes through for state bid is Carl Chevrolet out of Des Moines, or excuse me, Ankeny. You've got to get on that list anywhere from 8 to 12 months ahead of time, so you have to know what your vehicle needs are in the future, because they're only allotted so many vehicles from GM every year, and any departments in the state that use Chevrolet, they're going to be going to them to get their vehicles. So you've got to get on the list, figure out what your needs are. Once you acquire that vehicle, for the police patrol model is ballpark $50,000 for the vehicle itself. And the upfitting process, we use McQueen's out of Baxter, Iowa. That can range from anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 for upfitting. So depending on what equipment needs you have, you're looking at almost $100,000 by the time that car's done.
Yeah, great, thank you. Thank you so much for your service, and we know it's been a tough year for you guys in many different ways.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let us know how we can support you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, next is our administration and council. Rebecca.
Good morning. I know we're only about halfway through this, but in everything that I've heard so far, and I'm sure we're going to hear for the rest of the day, is how awesome our employees are.
Really?
I just want to make sure the public and the council, I mean, you know, but just hearing it. And whether they're part-time and they work 5 hours a week, or they're salary and put in 60 hours a week, they're here and they're serving. So.
And they don't get thanked enough.
Yeah, no.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to just start off with taking a moment to acknowledge our City Hall support staff. Denise Estel, Don Travis, Laura Franklin, Shelby Ford, and Jordan Garman. Their hard work and dedication and going the extra mile when it's needed, keeping the office moving forward day in and day out. As for our administration portion part of the budget, it's located within the general fund. Revenues consist of liquor licenses, cigarette permits, property taxes, franchise fees, electric vehicle charging station fees. These revenues cover general fund departments such as police, dispatch, fire, park and rec, cemetery, Carnegie, library, planning, zoning, media center, and mayor and council. Expenditures in the administrative budget come up to over $1 million. The largest expense being property insurance at over almost $750,000. We had a much smaller increase, thank goodness, this year in insurance than we've seen in previous years. But we also did add additional cyber liability. We had some, but the way everything goes anymore, we thought it'd be best to add some more. And we also increased our general liability, public official, and law enforcement liability. Other expenses include legal fees, election costs, IT services and software, office equipment, and we also have a 2% contingency of the general fund operations as required by the city's financial policy. Although not in the administration budget, I'd like to note that we did make some meaningful progress in the past year by implementing the utility portal that allows customers to view their utility counts and make payments online. As a result, many customers have opted out of receiving paper statements, which has helped reduce the volume of mailed correspondence. Pretty short and sweet, but any questions? Good, thank you. Thank you very much.
Right.
I'll just go now.
Thank you.
All righty, got us back on track.
Yeah.
Okay, planning and zoning.
Well, I'll get us back off track because I said, well, I'm the department, even though it's a small budget, I've got big news this budget to talk about. But going back to Calvin's part about the 10 years, I've been talking with the departments. I'm starting my 10th year, so I can't, my 10th full-time year, even though I worked with the city before. So I can't say that I'm new or use that I haven't gotten settled or anything like that as an excuse for not getting some of the things done, which is part of the discussion within the Planning and Zoning Department. So my name is Melanie Carlson. My official title is Public Works Director and City Engineer, but I also serve as the Planning and Zoning Administrator. The Planning and Zoning Department processes most of the permits issued by the city, including building and zoning permits, signage, work within the right-of-way, home occupation, and rental registration and inspections. The department also handles code violations and processes annexations, rezoning requests, and variances which go before the Planning and Zoning Commission or the Board of Adjustment. The Planning and Zoning Department operates within the general fund and has historically recovered about half of our expenses through fees. About 65% of our revenue comes from rental inspections, with business licenses and permits making up another 20%, and construction permits or the zoning permits making up another 10%. On the expense side, most of our budget goes towards staffing, legal services, and professional contracts. Our main professional contract is an independent arborist that we hire to evaluate damaged or dying trees before we issue a removal notice. Building and zoning practices are always changing, but nothing has influenced those more than state regulations. Last year, I talked about the accessory dwelling units. The Iowa legislation has reduced Iowa's home rule authority, particularly related to zoning. With the accessory dwelling units, cities are now required by state law to allow ADUs. While I don't have updates for the public on this issue, it is something that is definitely on my to-do list, and hopefully that we have some educational information for the public on this soon. So keeping in mind of my very long to-do list, probably no one more than myself is pleased to state that the fiscal year 27 budget includes a change to the Planning and Zoning Department by creating a full-time Planning and Zoning Director. I very much enjoy wearing the Planning and Zoning hat, but I hope that this is my last time presenting this budget. The current Planning and Zoning Department consists of 3 staff members, myself, a Planning and Zoning Assistant, and the Code Compliance Officer. Both the assistant and myself have responsibilities outside this department, and so the Code Compliance Officer has historically been the only position paid from this fund. The fiscal year 27 budget restructures these roles by adding a full-time Planning and Zoning Director and moving the code compliance duties to the police department. The new Planning and Zoning Director is going to be great for everyone, including myself. Provides dedicated supervision for city development, oversees the zoning administration department, will go a long way towards updating our city codes and procedures, and continue to work towards the safe and well-maintained construction of all buildings throughout the city of Fairfield. As far as the code compliance role, the current role will transition to the community service officer within the police department. That position will continue to enforce exterior nuisances such as vegetation, but add parking enforcement to their duties. They'll also support broader community-oriented police functions such as traffic control and other duties as assigned by the police department. Both of these positions are currently open, and so it may take 6 to 9 months before the residents notice the full impact of these changes. City Hall is going to remain the primary point of contact, particularly for the nuisances, as we go through this transition. City Hall is going to continue to coordinate, so I don't want the residents to call dispatch in order to make a nuisance complaint. I think Shannon already left, but Shannon, I'm telling all the residents now, I don't want them to call you for nuisance complaints. So our planning and zoning assistant and the planning and zoning administrator are still going to be here at City Hall, so the City Hall is still the contact for this stuff, even though those nuisances are going to be enforced through the police. Some of the nuisances are going to be enforced through the police department. Whether it's myself or a future planning and zoning director, our department's goal is always to help while we work through city regulations or now some state regulations. We'll strive to find a practical solution. So the earlier that you can communicate, the better. If there's any, I guess I'll take any questions until we take our break.
Melody, what are we doing to help navigate the landscape with ADUs? Because the legislature said you shall. Yep. And they didn't provide a lot of guidelines, and sometimes it may be that there would be, it would contravene some safety issues or whatever. How are we negotiating that?
Well, so as far as regulations, the state really ties the city's hands as far as allowing us to put in additional safety guidelines.
Hey, I want to, real quick though, I know we use a lot of acronyms.
Yes.
ADUs are?
Auxiliary dwelling units.
Thank you.
So what an auxiliary dwelling unit is, for anyone who doesn't know what that term is, it's, another term is a mother-in-law suite. It's typically a smaller dwelling unit on an existing lot, a secondary unit, again, on an existing lot. So the state really doesn't, it does not allow the city to add any additional regulations, kind of period, end of story. So what we've already been talking about with lawyers in Des Moines is, so what can we do? What does, there are state building codes. There are things that Fairfield doesn't have in place that we could enforce to ensure the highest level of safety for ADUs, because they are so they are new. I know I got a picture of a rental unit for a house that didn't have plumbing. So that's not what we want representing Fairfield, and particularly ADUs. So, but we also want to make sure we're in compliance with the state law. And
if we had a municipal building code, that could apply to ADUs, is that correct?
Yes, yep. And so without us having that in place, it's very hard for us to say that ADUs have to follow them. And that's where getting the right language forward with the lawyers is why it's taking a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. Someone could put in a building permit for it today, and we would approve it. We would have to, but we would also like to provide. I think we do have a lot of great building homeowners and developers, and we'd like to provide them educational information, so that they can do it. That they can do it safely. So kind of balancing what we're required to do by law, and helping provide educational information. And so that's ultimately our goal with whatever information we get out about ADUs. is that minimum requirement, but as well being helpful for those people who want to be, have safe and reliable housing.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Hopefully, the state addresses it and provides a little bit more. If they're going to tie our hands, I guess I would like some guidance in what not to use. So.
Thank you.
Definitely need more clarity.
Yeah. They basically just said we have to allow it with and they don't provide any additional guidance.
And I just have to say, along with that, thanks to Melanie, she does about 4 jobs. I think maybe that's the minimum. We have to kick her out sometimes. She's usually the last one here.
Yeah, but I'm the only one who has passwords to the door codes, so it's kind of hard for you guys to. That's another one of my hats.
But we appreciate all you do. We're looking forward to having this new position. It is really going to help. I'm hoping that, soon, like in the near future, I'm not talking 6 months, but in the next, couple years, that we will have building codes. And we're also working on low to moderate income opportunities for, possible grants. The Economic Development Committee is taking that up. So it's a big area to work on in planning and zoning and having a new director. So we look forward to all that and improvement in our community.
Absolutely. Yep.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great.
Melanie.
We are going to take a break until 10 after 10. We're back from break and we are going to start with streets. We have Joe Hurd.
Okay, I'm just going to start talk about what's exciting this year for me. I'm going to start with wages. We have a guy that's been gone for a couple years. He's back 20 hours a week, which is really good. We have missed him. We've had a part-time guy that's done a great job of kind of filling in for him for a year or so. Also, with that part-time wages that you see there, we have implemented, not only do we do the school to work program with the school, but also in the wintertime, and I think last year I might have touched on this, we're able to hire some outside help for snow plowing. There was a time this winter that we actually had all 11 vehicles on pushing snow one time, so we can hire outside help to come in and help us out, which is a big deal to be able to. We only have 7 people, so to be able to bring other people in and help out is huge on a storm. See, moving down, not this year. I do have heat. We've kind of on our building maintenance. We finished pouring concrete on a new building that we've kind of been doing one piece at a time, like the Johnny Cash song. We just have heat left to get done on that. We've got a pretty nice building down there at the street shed. Wanted to point out on fuel costs, which should be $63.31. Thought I was going to be a little ahead of the game this year on that, and fuel prices have went up, so I don't know where I'm going to end up there, but we'll have it covered somehow. Maintenance cost, I did up that this year. It's more for parts and stuff like that. Went up to $50,000. Maintenance is a big deal these days. We have a lot more equipment than we used to have, and it's just getting, you know, hoses. One of the guys went to get a high pressure hose the other day. It was I don't know, it was like 10 feet long. It was a $600 hose. So maintenance cost is huge. We do have a lot of equipment, and you know, $50,000 may be low for us. It's extremely expensive. Moving down to street maintenance. This year will be, I did a little bit of seal coating, which is LL Pelling. It's a chip seal. I've got them scheduled to come in and do somewhere between $60,000 and $80,000 worth of seal coats, which is maybe a quarter of the seal coating that needs to be, that we have in the city. We try and do a little bit each year. And then also, which may be even out of this year's budget, we need to talk to council about it. We're going to try and get Walton Road from Pleasant Plain Road to Walton done. And that needs it really bad. So that Walton Road that runs up from Pleasant Plain to Walton.
Joe, isn't that a shared cost with the county or no?
They own a piece of it. Our plans are tentatively, they own like a small, like maybe a third, not quite a third of
Okay.
it. Our intentions are hopefully not to try and get them to pay for that. They do some, we work with them on some other things. They do some painting for us, which we're going to pay for. I'll
Yeah.
let Melanie explain more of that when
Yeah,
we
no,
come
that's
to
fine.
council for that.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, I have a swing boom mower that would go on. I have down there, I think it says 17,000. My print is so small I'd have to put my glasses on. I don't want to do that. That's going to be for alleys and outlying areas where it can actually come off of the skid steer and reach over on the side of the ditch and mow alongside the ditches. And then also in our alleys, a lot of that's getting overgrown, and it's just too labor intensive for the guys to go through with chainsaws and cut that. And then also replacement of our skid steer is the next line item there. That we want to keep it fresh. Then moving on to 6520, the emulsion. So there's a lot of things wrapped into that, emulsion, crack sealing. One of the things that we're doing right now is we started crack sealing on Burlington Street, which is really, we're trying to, the cracks that happen in streets are what destroys the streets, whether it's concrete, asphalt, or whatever. So we're trying to hold that together until Melanie and the city can come up with the money to replace it, which needs to be done. And I don't know how many years down the road that is, but the crack sealing that we do is important to try and hold that together. And so that we've started on that again. The crack sealing material that we buy, and also we buy coal mix with that, and then also emulsion is something that runs through the total patcher. Then right along with that, down you'll see tape, 3M tape. I think that's what it says there, 60,000 for that. We're excited about that project, but doing our crack sealing on Burlington beforehand, because we've got a machine where we go, you can see that some of the lines, some of the yellow tape as you drive down Burlington, you can hardly see anymore. That's something that they put down when they overlaid that back in, it might have been 05 or 07, somewhere in there, where the state turned it over to us. But at nighttime, or when it's wet, or when it's snowy, people are really having trouble seeing where they're supposed to be. And so we, this year, I actually got a better deal on some of that tape, and so we're excited about. We put down a mile of that last year. I've got a bid to actually do about 3 miles of that this year, and we're excited about that. We have to regrind. We have to grind the old stuff off, and then we spray an adhesive, and then lay that tape down, and they'll be white and yellow going down, and you'll be able to see that process as we do that. And then the other thing is that 2011 truck is going to go away. We're going to be trading that in, replacing that truck.
Okay.
Any questions?
I think the street project that we just completed, that went really quick.
Yeah, there's a little bit left to do on that. We've got to replace the approach at the library from Highway 1 up just, I don't know, 30 or 40 feet.
Yeah, did you mention what projects are like that are for next year?
Just the seal coating is the big thing that's going to be, that we're going to be doing. And then I believe that we're working on traffic light. Melanie will talk more about that. Yeah. I would assume. But seal coating's the big street.
Yeah.
And then just preventative maintenance that I was talking about with the emulsion and stuff this year.
When will the striping happen?
The striping is going to start happening pretty soon.
Okay. Great.
And Joe, I'd like to thank you for your efforts on behalf of the Beautification Commission. You guys do a great job. We make a lot of messes while we're doing stuff and create things that you need to pick up, and you've been really helpful with that.
I appreciate
so thank you.
Yep.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Next up is water. Steve?
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Steve Redinger. I'm the water superintendent. I'm not going to go over each line item line by line because we'll be here all day. So for those that don't really know anything about our system, I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. Our current water treatment plant is a lime softening plant built in 1974 and will treat 4 million gallons a day. In 1999, the city went all to deep well water, which is higher in total dissolved solids, so we added the EDR plant in 2002, which stands for electrodialysis reversal, which is a membrane treatment and can produce 2 million gallons a day. We take half of that water coming in and run it through the lime softening plant, and then we take the other half through the EDR plant. Then we blend the two together to send to town. We have 3 deep wells. One will produce 950 gallons per minute. The other will produce The other two will produce anywhere from 500 to 2,000 gallons per minute. We currently produce about 1 million gallons of water a day, which feeds all of Fairfield, Lockridge, Jefferson County Rural Water, and Libertyville. The waterworks is run by the Department of Natural Resources, which drives our budget. Every 2 years, they issue our operating permit. They tell us what to test for and do a walkthrough to see that we are operating according to the permit. We cannot change treatment or chemicals without their approval. Our plant is currently a grade 4 treatment, and our distribution system is a grade 3, which simply put, you have to have a grade 4 treatment license from the state of Iowa and a grade 3 distribution license to oversee the operations. We have 3 employees at the plant that have to have at least a grade 2 treatment to operate alone. The waterworks is a 24-hour operation, 365 days a year. Those 3 operators are on a rotating schedule of being on call for holidays, weekends, and evenings. Those 3 operators take care of all the testing, maintenance of the pumps, the feeders, plus maintenance of the plant grounds, deep wells, and the towers. Our distribution system is much the same way. Those 4 operators are also on a rotating schedule. They take care of all the water leaks, approximately 96 miles of water mains, 700 fire hydrants, 5,000 metered accounts, plus maintenance on all the equipment. Our yearly operating budget is roughly a little over $2 million a year, which pays for chemicals, maintenance, salaries, keeps the lights on, keeps the pumps running. One of the ways we stretch our dollars is we've been doing in-house smaller water main projects. One of the water main projects we're going to do in this upcoming budget year is Wilson from Highway 1 to D. We'll be doing that in-house, so that saves us quite a few dollars there. Another water main we're going to be doing, and I believe it's this budget year, is from Kingwood Court to 32nd Street to loop that up into West Hills because it's low pressure up through there. So that will be getting done. And then one of the big accomplishments we've done this year was getting in our new SCADA system, which we got a new panel view, all of our electronics, everything's been updated because all of our other stuff was old and out of date. And then another project that we have coming up will be our new EDR water membranes, getting them all replaced. Right? Yeah. Okay. So with that, that's all I have. Any questions on any of the stuff?
Well, Steve, you're 24/7, 365, your operation.
Yep.
Your operators, you say they rotate. Does that mean there's someone active every day, all the time?
They're there all through the day, 5 days a week. But then of evenings, there's somebody on call all the time. So everything's on an alarm system and monitors. So they'll get the call if something goes AWOL, and then they got to come in and take care of that. Also on the weekends, they got to come in, do the test, morning test, get them all done, and then they're on call. And they got to come in on Sunday too. Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day. It doesn't make any difference. They got to come in and get those tests done because all that has to be documented and reported to DNR, put on a spreadsheet, and get to DNR every month.
Thank you.
And if somebody has an emergency at home related to water, and it's like your issue, where should they call?
They call the police department.
Okay.
Emergency number, yeah.
Non-emergency.
Non-emergency number.
Okay. Yes, non-emergency number at the police department. Also, people are generally curious about fluoride.
Yep.
You know, do we put that in the water, et cetera? Do you want to address that?
Yeah, we do not feed fluoride. We have a natural fluoride level from the aquifer. It runs right around 1.3 parts per million. You cannot go over 4 parts per million on the fluoride. And if you're feeding it, they want you to maintain at least a 0.8. So anywhere from a 0.8 to 2 is optimal range. Ours is a 1.3. But we do not feed fluoride.
Okay, great.
Any other questions?
It's a fascinating system if you've ever been out there. That's all I
Yeah,
can say.
we always give tours. Mindy, you've been out there
Right.
a couple of times.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yep. So, yeah, you want to come out sometime? We'll
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Get her done.
I think we should do that.
And the lakes that we have are the backup system. you know,
Yes,
Long Lake.
Yes. Highly unlikely we'd ever have to use those
Yeah.
lakes again, but being you have them,
Yeah,
it'd be a shame to not take care of them.
Yep.
right.
And so that's why, you know, again, we have rules around using those lakes and how they're used, et cetera, because of that.
Because you just never know.
Yep. Exactly.
All right.
Okay, thank you much.
All right, thank
Steve,
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Wastewater.
Morning. My name is Sean Worley, and I'm the wastewater treatment superintendent. With me today is James Simmons, our maintenance system coordinator and treatment operator. The wastewater plant is a state-of-the-art facility that allows treatment of sanitary sewage without the use of chemicals or additions. Instead, our process utilizes select bacteria for the breakdown of organic solids. The wastewater facility operates and maintains 74 miles of sanitary sewer mains, 1,150 manholes, 16 sewer lift stations, and 57 submersible pumps ranging from 2 horse to 200 horse. The treatment facility responsibility is not water treatment, but also the collection of wastewater. The city is broken down into 4 quadrants, which is on a 4-year rotation for sewer main cleaning. The yearly cleaning ranges from 65,000 feet to 100,000 feet of line, depending on the size of the quadrant. After cleaning, the area is then televised to detect pipe issues or additional maintenance that's needed. The wastewater treatment budget is permit driven, which means the facility in the city has an MPDS permit, which is the National Pollution Discharge Elimination System, and is governed by the Iowa Department of Natural Resources as well as the Environmental Protection Agency. The permit states parameters at which our wastewater must be treated to, thus guiding the treatment budget. The yearly operating budget is $2.1 million, which includes all operating, treatment, maintenance, training, repairs, projects, and salaries for the entire department. The wastewater department is on call 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, with a crew of 7 full-time operators, including myself. So we actually operate on the same system as what water does too. We're both under the same regulations. We'd like to discuss a few accomplishments that were completed in fiscal year 25-26, with the main one being our grease lightning lift station was completed in early 2025, which was long overdue. The lift station is more than double the original capacity and will reduce or eliminate sanitary sewer bottleneck overflows that we've experienced. Our staff has worked very hard on additional training throughout the year to stay on top of ever-changing technology as well as regulations. The water quality we are producing for release to Crow Creek is well within our current limits, and the difference can definitely be seen in downstream water quality. We have also started a new maintenance program, which James Simmons helped spearhead. I'd like to give him a couple minutes to explain the highlights.
Thank you, Sean, and good morning, everyone. The reason for the wastewater treatment plant use of MaintainX, which is the new maintenance program, was to get a handle of the maintenance of all critical equipment, not only at the treatment facility, but at all of the numerous lift stations. Everything from a sludge valve to our large screw pumps can be tracked. This was also done to help reduce downtime as well as reduce cost of emergency repairs to our critical equipment. Since starting the program in February 2026, maintenance and operations personnel have completed nearly 175 work orders, 97% of which were preventative maintenance work orders, and the remaining 3% were reactive work orders. We are tracking over 200 assets, and we average 20 preventative maintenance work orders per week. In summary, MaintainX will be crucial in ensuring our equipment is long-lasting and operating as it should, as well as allowing plant personnel to anticipate downtime for maintenance. This program also allows for an extensive parts inventory. This will allow for a complete look at parts that are kept on hand, which will reduce the amount of rush orders and unnecessary parts runs. In the long run, this program will allow for cost savings compared to emergency repairs. Thank you for your time, and I'll pass it back to Sean.
I really want to thank Jimmy for leading this endeavor too. It was something we've tried to work with in the past. It was time for us to get into the 21st century and start moving forward with some of this. Being able to track repairs will greatly reduce our budget for repairs. If stuff isn't maintained at intervals that it's designed for, your emergency repairs after that are double or triple the price. So it really has, and it's going to be a very valuable tool in our future. Sewer replacement phase step 4A will begin this year, which is a mainline replacement and upsizing in the southwest quadrant. This phase corresponds with a consent order issued by the DNR and the EPA to prevent sanitary sewer overflows. To this point, we have made drastic improvements and positive steps to fulfill the requirements given. Overall, the wastewater facility has remained fiscally responsible in utilizing a realistic budget, maintaining a performance-based treatment process while continuing to protect our streams and rivers for the people and nature who utilize and depend on them.
Great.
Questions?
That was really interesting information on the being proactive.
Absolutely.
So, having taken a tour with you, Sean, I could highly recommend to anyone here or anyone watching that if you want to have a good time, go out and take a tour of that amazing facility. It's just absolutely astonishing.
Yep. There's a lot of neat things that go on with we all kind of feel like we're just all scientists out there because our main job is microbiology.
Yeah.
So it's always an interesting day, and things change very fast, so we have to stay up on that.
And we're talking about wastewater, so it is an interesting tour, though.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he all uses words that are very eloquent to discuss what we're talking about.
Yeah, I walked in there and said, am I in a wastewater facility or am I in a lab? I mean, it was quite amazing.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, Fairfield Media Center. Jason?
Forgive me as I'm multitasking here. Running the live stream and all that. So hopefully I've got my audio settings set pretty well and moving forward. For those who don't know, my name is Jason Strong. I'm the director of the Fairfield Media Center. I have been since 2011 and volunteered, I want to say about 2 years before that, before becoming director. FPAC 9 got its start in 1992 and has diligently served our community since, and it's been 34 years since FPAC started. I did the math and that just blew me away that we have been around that long. FPAC 9 was rebranded Fairfield Media Center in the beginning of 2012. Fairfield Media Center believes in video literacy and education, helping those in our community to learn video and editing techniques to help support not only themselves, but our greater, larger community, helping them create creative local programming. We're gearing up for a few upgrades to the council chambers, being able to reutilize aging equipment and being able to get the most mileage out of that equipment as possible. The cameras that we plan on putting in here have been our workhorses for the last 8 to 10 years. We started seeing some issues with them recording to SD cards, but being utilized as streaming cameras in a permanent setup, they can continue on moving forward without problem. So we're really happy to do that. We've also been a part of some of the upgrades taking place at the Fairfield Public Library and helping them to be able to make it easier for people who use the meeting room there, and it will also increase our ability to film, record, and go live from that location as well. A lot of these upgrades and be able to utilize that aging equipment was largely due to a loss grant that we received last year, and which allowed us to purchase new cameras that will become our new workhorse cameras. They are professional broadcast quality cameras, and we expect to get probably 8 to 10 years out of those as well to get the most bang for our buck. As far as our budget, a majority of our budget consists of labor. We do try to keep our equipment costs down as much as possible. Those equipment prices are constantly rising. So surprisingly enough, we were actually able to drop our budget by about $2,600 this year overall, which with the increasing cost of stuff, was really nice to see. But again, a lot of that was largely due to that lost funds that we received last year. As usual, the places where you can go to see us the most, Fairfield Media Center has its own website, www.fairfieldmediacenter.com. We have 2 YouTube channels. One is our primary channel, which you can go to, see our live streams, see our weekly uploaded content that we're featuring. The other one is our archival YouTube channel, which features everything from 2011 back to, I want to say our earliest video is 1985, and which I think is a prom video. But generally speaking, it goes back to like that 1992, 93 era mostly. We also are on social media, Facebook and Instagram. So those are the places where you can find us the easiest to connect with us. We're constantly sharing updates from the city, from other local nonprofits, events that take place, and we do all of that through social media. And we're happy to, again, work with the public, local nonprofits, and the city overall. I stand for questions.
What will be the change for the viewer in the upgrades you are planning for council chambers?
So with the council chambers specifically, if you've watched prior city council meetings for the last, I don't know, 15 plus years, it's been a single camera view. And so for our live streams, we set that on a wide shot so we can cover everything that's going on, rather than panning constantly back and forth and taking up more area for seating. With these upgrades, we're adding an additional 4 cameras. So we'll be able to have not only our wide shot, we'll be able to have a close-up shot on the mayor and the city administrator. We'll be able to have a shot specifically for the podium or the lectern. And then we'll have 2 side-angle shots so that when city council members, such as yourself, if you're speaking, we can flip to a camera that'll show the 4 council members sitting over here and vice versa on the other side.
And when will that be in place?
Hopefully within the next month here.
Exciting.
So sadly, we weren't able to get them installed prior to this, unfortunately due to an injury I sustained. So.
You better now?
I am feeling much better now.
I know we don't have much time, but quick question. What are some of the more popular shows that show up on that you do on FPAC?
It ranges. It actually does jump around quite a bit. I want to say city council meetings, believe it or not, are, we at times get several hundred people viewing city council meetings.
What do you mean by believe it or not?
Well, I mean, I had people say, it is a business meeting. Some people put it on to fall asleep. I have heard that before. But other times, I've been in here where it's almost standing room.
Yep.
And so there are hot topics that get debated, and people tune in for those. I want to say the highest I've seen for a city council meeting is probably 300. So it's definitely being watched. We are trying to promote things such as council wrap-up, the chamber talks that we picked up from KMCD and started filming over there before they restructured. So we also cover Traction Thursdays, which is over at the CoLab, which is an entrepreneurship setting. But yeah, right now we're pushing our video podcasts is what we're really trying to grow right now. So, and that's welcome for anybody that has public service announcements, things like that. They can join me and we can talk about subjects, hash them out, and get the word out to the public.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Thanks, Jason. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Okay, our last discussion will be about capital improvements and lost. Local option sales tax, I should say.
Well, and hopefully I don't get us too far behind because I didn't look at the schedule until this morning. So I thought I had 15 minutes, so see what I can do. So hello again. My name is still Melanie Carlson, and I'm still the Public Works Director. In this role, I coordinate and manage the construction projects and infrastructure projects throughout the city, including city-led projects, as well as those undertaken by outside companies. I like to say if construction's happening in the town, my office has likely been involved in the planning, coordination, review, and design, meaning that I'm likely responsible for traffic interruptions, except Libertyville Road. That one is not me. The county engineer's phone number is. The most important tool I use to plan and coordinate all the projects that we have going on is the Capital Improvements Plan, or the CIP. The CIP is a document that looks at the next 5 years of infrastructure projects, equipment purchases, and facility improvements. The current CIP covers fiscal years 27, the budget that we're discussing today, through fiscal year 2031. The first year aligns directly with the budget, while later years are updated annually based off of costs, budgets, projects, regulations, and resource changes. This year's 48-page document is available year-round on the city's website, as well as past versions of the CIP. The CIP helps guide the city in making decisions by coordinating timing between street construction and utility replacement, identifying funding sources for those projects, maintaining continuity across multiple budget years, particularly when there's staff and council changeover, and ideally the CIP helps plan for projects before they become emergencies. Each year, the CIP coordinates between $5 and $15 million of capital projects. Over the past 5 years, the city has completed roughly $50 million in capital improvements. Reason why I kind of anyway, so some of those projects have included the Step 3 sanitary sewer projects, multiple airport improvements, Highway 1, Crow Creek Bridge, water main projects replacement, several playground projects, the Sunrise Trail infrastructure, and the new fire station project. Those are the building projects, plus then we have maintenance, as well as several vehicle purchases over the last 5 years. The CIP also tracks equipment, vehicles, and major building components as capital assets. Our current capital asset inventory shows just over 10 million in asset needs that are approaching replacement or major rehabilitation within the next 5 years. The CIP is currently scheduled to handle about 9 million of those needs. While there is a funding gap between those two, the city has worked steadily over the past years to narrow that gap. Since these replacement timelines are estimates, I believe the city's on a solid path in the coming years to handle those capital asset needs. The two key funding sources that are used within the capital improvements plan that have not been discussed yet today are the Capital Improvements Reserve Fund, or SURF, and the Local Option Sales Tax, or LOST. So starting with SURF, Capital Improvements Reserve Fund, this is a voter-approved fund that levies 67.5 cents per thousand of taxable value. In fiscal year 27, we estimate that SURF will generate $271,000. SURF has funded a variety of projects over the years, including playground improvements at Obie Nelson Waterworks Park and the Heritage Park Playground. For fiscal year 27, SURF is designated to fund fixtures and furnishings at the fire station, used to match the 95% grants for the airport, and funding concrete work to replace the library book drop. Let me rephrase that. The concrete on the outside so that it's easier to drive up to the library book drop. As we turn to the LOST, or the local option sales tax, this is a 1% sales tax collected within the city of Fairfield, generating roughly $1 million annually. The distribution was approved by voters, with 50% of that $1 million going towards streets, 25% for property tax relief, and 25% for any other lawful purpose, including community betterment. LOST plays a major role in funding our streets improvements while reducing those pressures on property tax. The recent Adams Avenue overlay was funded through fiscal year 26 LOST funds. In fiscal year 27, LOST will fund approximately half the cost of the improvements to Main and Burlington, with the other funds coming from Iowa Department of Transportation grants. The 25% property tax relief portion of LOST typically funds capital items within the general fund, such as park and rec vehicles that Calvin mentioned, equipment. I think Calvin discussed funding exercise equipment, but also lawnmowers, and then also police vehicles, and $100,000 is put in a reserve each year for fire truck replacement. The final 25% of community betterment or other lawful purpose of LOST has, again, gone to a variety of things. With this year's budget, $131,350 is going towards nonprofit grants within the community. Additionally, those funds go to contribute towards fireworks, Main Street, Grow Fairfield, and the Beautification Commission. The capital improvements plan is intended to provide a clear and transparent way to see what major projects are planned, when they're expected to occur, and how they're funded. Fairfield, like cities everywhere, are facing aging infrastructure, rising costs, unfunded mandates, and funding sources that are not keeping pace. Without voter-approved tools like SURF, again, Capital Improvements Reserve Fund, and LOST, Local Option Sales Tax, the city could not maintain the facilities that we have. The CIP is not a mandated process, but it's one of the most important, I feel like it's one of the most important tools the city uses to guide our major projects. Unplanned projects or last-minute projects, even when they're well-intentioned, constrain funding and staff time and may delay work that's already scheduled. Success of current projects depends on good planning, coordination, community input, and being conscious of the city's priorities. Citizen engagement, whether it's from our two people who are here today or those who are following online, it's a critical part of all of our process and the work that all of us do each day. We value the opportunity to share the details that we have today and hope that this encourages continued discussion and involvement. We definitely appreciate, it's been brought up a couple times, that Leadership Fairfield and others have been to our facilities. We love to see that. Seeing those facilities firsthand make a real difference in allowing people to make those connections. So right now, I'll go ahead and extend the invitation to come see the new fire station in early 2027. With that, I guess I'll take questions on kind of any of the projects that we have going on this year or in future years that are in the CIP.
Yes. What is the status of the Burlington project, Burlington Street project?
So we, I think it was at the last council meeting, we accepted the DOT funding. I'm sorry, are you Main and Burlington or Burlington in general?
Burlington in general.
Okay. I'm going to pull out, let me look on the CIP just to get a few things lined up here. So what we want to do is we want to get the Main and Burlington intersection improvements done first. But what is in the CIP right now is, I'm looking, for fiscal year 29 is to start some conceptual design, putting together some grant applications at that point, starting to get public input on that process. I think there's a lot of things that can be discussed depending on funding, whether it's an overlay, partial overlay, how we stage things, looking at the pavement scores. There's going to be a lot that goes into it. And so we want to take the time that we spent on Highway 1, getting all of those thoughts put together on making that corridor more efficient. So my thought is that we have a couple years of that input process and then starting the first phase, whatever that phase might be, whether it is the intersection of 32nd or somewhere else along the corridor, would be, I've got it at the fiscal year 31, so at the end of the 5 years is my thought process. We do have, so the city gets money from the Iowa Department of Transportation in the STBG, so state, cannot think of what that stands for, but we do get funds each year, and it is allowed to sit there and grow. We are also allowed to borrow ahead for it. So 32nd and 4th Street, when we did those a couple years ago, we borrowed ahead on those monies. So a couple years ago, we were at 0. Now we're starting to build those funds back up. There are only certain streets we can use that for. I would like to see those funds go towards or continue to build for Burlington improvements. I think by the time we get to having some of those concepts defined, we'll have not all of it in that fund, but a good portion that would then allow us to use some bonding authority or other, I'll say some other opportunities that might, we have some bonds rolling off in a couple, in a few years, and I think those are some different places that we can use to match those state grants. So it's going to be a long process, and we want to make sure that we do it right, and definitely get a lot of input as we go. I feel like we just recovered from Highway 1, but I know that it's been longer than what we think, and so, but we do intend to have it it is within the 5-year plan, and it's going to be starting sooner than what we realized.
Can you talk the detail about the intersection of Burlington and Main Street? What's happening there and timeline?
Yeah. So at the last council meeting, we approved, or council approved, the grant funds from the Iowa Department of Transportation, $200,000 for youth step, which is, again, not thinking of what that acronym stands for, but $200,000 to help replace the traffic signals themselves, and then $212,630, I believe, for transportation, for safety funds related to the pedestrian improvements. That, combined with the $500,000 of local option sales tax, will be funding those improvements. But generally speaking, we're looking at replacing the signal poles themselves, upgrading the signals to allow for modern, well, I'll say we can't even really adjust the timing, coordinating with new pedestrian signals, because the computer that we have there for for the signals is old enough that we can't do upgrades to anything else. So replacing those along with physically replacing the poles because of their age. Then also adding crosswalks on the east and north side, as well as modifying the nodes that are there to accommodate those crosswalks, adding a node, an unlandscaped node on the southeast corner to shorten that crosswalk distance. So a lot of different things happening there, but working on both the pedestrian improvements and replacing the traffic lights to bring them to current standards.
Great.
Current technology,
Yeah.
maybe.
And I'm sorry, did you give the timeline? Did I zone off there?
Nope, I did not give the timeline. So do we have an engineering agreement for that? I think that's coming on Monday, maybe, or maybe the following one. So very soon, we'll get the engineering agreement to start on final design on that. The funds from the state will be available after July 1. We'll work on design through the rest of this calendar year with bidding towards the end of this calendar year, maybe first part of next calendar year. So construction will be happening about a year from now.
Thank you. I'd just like to also comment, because sometimes people have questions regarding local option sales tax and the property tax relief. They see us spending money for things, so how is that property tax relief? So it gets to be a little bit confusing, and I get it. But ultimately, if we didn't have this money from local option sales tax, we would be borrowing, which would then cost the taxpayer more.
Or it would, even though we are limited to how we can raise our levy, it would be going back into our general fund, such as purchase, like the vehicle purchase for the police or the lawnmower purchase for the Parks Department. Those are general fund items that would go in onto our levy if they weren't being paid for with that local option sales tax.
Yep. So, what other questions for Melanie? Any? Okay. I guess we've run through everybody, and we appreciate everybody's time this morning, and for those who came to listen, appreciate you too. And this will be out on the internet, so people can watch it at their leisure. Any other comments from council members who are here? No?
Great.
Doug, any thoughts?
I'll close.
Okay, great.
Right. I'm grateful for the council's efforts and the external partnerships, volunteers, and most importantly, the frontline level employees. They demonstrate professionalism, composure, and intelligence, particularly during times of crisis. My job is not to have all the answers, but to create an environment where the best answers can be uncovered and emerge. We work hard to provide quality services while keeping costs low and consistent to the community. Materials and overhead continue to climb. Existing infrastructure continues to need repair and maintenance. As the city grows, needs increase. These things never change, and there is a balance. We utilize technology to become less labor-intensive, more efficient, and more effective. We continue to be frugal and wise with public funds, understanding the difference between wants and needs. We use what we have been provided past its useful life and outgrow infrastructure over time as we move forward, strategically planning more modern operations and facilities so that we have the new pieces in place for the next generation. Cities are either growing or they're shrinking, but they never stay the same. As we remain relevant, it comes with a cost. It is up to all of us to participate in Fairfield's success. We must be precise in the things that we want and the things that we need. Nothing is free and everything is work. The right people are in the right place, but the saying goes, it takes a village. Kindness, respect, effort, hard work, and helping our neighbor in times of need. Things will never be exactly the way we want them to be, but with the right attitudes and goodwill, we can come close. We must understand with compassion that there are those less fortunate, and helping hands help us reach the goal for a greater good. We must do our part to attract families and provide an atmosphere where they want to stay. This is us. This is who we are, although we sometimes take it for granted. Fairfield is a great city. It is what we make it, not just what we want it to be. We must let go of self-interest and do the greatest good for the greatest number of people in the long run. That's Skip Pinchot, by the way. Fairfield is a legacy, and it is up to us. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you all for the department heads for everything that they've done. So it's been a hard year, but we made it through it.
Thank you, Doug, and thank you for your work as well and your leadership for the city. Okay, that's a wrap, as they say.
Thank you.
We'll see you Monday night.